Hello, my lovelies, and welcome to Where the Road Rises with me, Eileen Carolyn Walsh. Recently, at Carolyn Walsh Law, we celebrated Legal Week. Legal Week is a national opportunity for attorneys to come together, look at evolving trends, what we're doing with our technology, diversity, ethics, rising talent, all that wonderful stuff. And in celebration of Legal Week, we devised a series of videos, a little set of fireside chats whereby we shared with our online audience what we do here at the office, who our team is, and what our service to community is. So we thought, since we shared that information with our online audience, today we'd share it with you, our Channel 4 audience, and who better to discuss those legal questions with us than Ron Jankowski, the great Ron Jankowski, who Ron and I started our legal series back in 2013.
Unbelievable.
Where for at least 2.5, 3 years, we sat here once a month and took apart, examined every aspect of estate planning. So it's going to be, Ron, a little bit of revisitation of where we've been and where we're going in the legal world. So Ron is going to ask me some questions and we'll have our Legal Week information unfold.
And I have created some questions, and I think these are probably directed to what the viewers probably would be more interested in.
Okay.
And we're going to get right to the core of it. And what are 3 ways to keep your home out of probate would be one question.
Okay, Ron. So the home is often the one asset that sends an estate into probate. So oftentimes clients are sophisticated. They understand they got to make sure that they take care of their affairs. So often they will have their children maybe on the beneficiary of their retirement accounts, their insurance policies, payable on death at the bank. And the one thing that they don't and should not put the children on is their home. Now, even clients who have done a will, leaving everything to each other and then to the children, they are not going to automatically get that home without probate upon the death of the surviving parents. So we offer, if the home is the only asset that's going to trigger a probate, about 3 things that are possible to do. And the first is a very simple little instrument that we've had since 2012 in Illinois, whereby you can draft a document. It's almost like a hybrid between a deed and a trust. You can say whom you want to get your property if you still own that property at the time of your death, and you cannot say who's in charge, but whom you want to have it. And if you do own that property at your death, that is who gets the property. So it's much better than what we had prior to 2012. Was no way to do this other than trust planning or probate. It's not perfect. It's a bare bones instrument. It's public record, and it only runs with that one property. So if you downsize to a condo or a townhome, you've kind of lost the investment. But for many of our clients, Ron, it's going to do the trick.
And you do have to do some planning on this.
Oh, absolutely. You need to determine who you want to have, whom you want to inherit the property, and you got to get that instrument drafted up, and you've got to get it recorded against the property. Now, there are some who attempt this DIY. I always say be very careful. It's difficult to make sure you have the legal description of the property correct, that you set it up properly. So it's the least expensive of the ways to avoid probate with your home. So I would advise, if you do it yourself, at least get it checked out by an attorney before you attempt to draft it or record it. You want to be sure that it's going to work as you intend.
What about anything in particular essential? 6
okay.
That you should be referring to.
Okay. So I like to say there are 6 essential estate planning documents that every responsible adult should have in their estate plan.
I remember that.
Every responsible adult, because believe it or not, viewers, there's still over 50% of people who do no planning at all, which may, if you've done your plan, that may just seem incredible to you, but there are those who put it off indefinitely. They determine that either they're invincible or they're always going to have an opportunity the next year, the next year, the next year. But what you and I know is, there comes a time when things happen. Illnesses get diagnosed, the unexpected turns up, so it's much better to get the planning done when we're healthy and competent. That's when we can do it the best and when it's the least difficult to do. So those essential 6 are a will. A will still determines who will gift you have and who's in charge. Wonderful to have, better than nothing, but does not keep your estate out of probate, as we discussed earlier. Right. The second is some kind of a trust. Either just a simple little residential trust for the home or the instrument we talked about earlier. The living trust, which is a little bit more of an involved plan, a wonderful, wonderful document. Many of our community use it. It's almost like another way to hold title, plus your own little treasure chest. The home, the assets, the retirement accounts, the investments, even checking and saving can all go through this trust. You stay out of probate, you plan to save taxes, you protect vulnerable members of your family. It's a wonderful estate planning tool and very, very typically used. Then the powers of attorney, finance and healthcare. As I always say, if you do no other planning, get those powers of attorney in place, because they're not about after death and they're not about the kids getting what you want them to have and them not fighting. Those powers of attorney are about you. They're about you making sure that you give someone the authority to manage your finance, manage your health care, if you're still here but no longer able to do it yourself. And viewers, you know from your neighbors that we are living longer. We're living into our 80s and our 90s. We have good heart health, we have good lung health, we have good medical care for the body. The advances simply have not been made for the mind and memory care. So a period of just even some diminished capacity in our later years is very typical. So get those powers of attorney in place. End of life instruction. Let's ponder now whether we would want to be kept alive on life support if it was just death delaying. If we don't, let our family know, get it into the documents. And the last of the essential 6 is a good roadmap to all of it. Get the documents, make sure the family know where they are. List your doctors, list the medications, the assets, the beneficiary forms, where are the deeds, lists of medications, pets. If we create that wonderful roadmap, it makes us feel terrific, and it's golden for those who may have to come in at short notice to take care of us.
And one thing you did mention many, many months ago when we were doing the show, it would be nice for you to add to your trust or will or whatever you have, and of course it should be a trust, is a note to your family. What your interests really are and why you are expecting certain things to go to certain people.
Yes, and that's called an ethical will, and that's something, Ron,
ethical will, that's what I was thinking of, yes.
So dear to my heart. An ethical will is where you write a little story. It doesn't have to be long, it's not a full memoir, it's just a little brief bubble about your life and its meaning, some stories, some family history. What do you believe the meaning and purpose has been and how your life could inform those coming after you? I love the ethical will. I've taught it for years. I have a little online program now where my clients can go in, watch the videos and write it themselves. And this is so exciting and brand new, Ron. I wasn't even going to announce this today, but I'm also planning a trip, an experiential travel trip next summer to Ireland, hopefully the first of many, where our clients, our audience, fellow travelers will come to a destination, will visit different places. In the morning, in a beautiful setting, we will write one section, because this is a 10-hour commitment. Each morning, with my prompting and helps and suggestions, we will write a section of the ethical will. In the afternoon, we will just go and visit beautiful places, the mountains, the seas, the shores. We'll listen to writers, poets, we'll visit organizations, genealogists. And of course, in the evening, they'll be drinking, food, dancing, music.
Oh my gosh.
And then the next morning, with heightened clarity, we'll write the next section. So I'm planning this with the Californian travel company at the moment, and I'm very excited about it. Because people sometimes need a little distance to write about their life.
Right.
And more importantly, they need to give themselves time.
Yes.
We're so busy.
Remove yourself from the day-to-day stuff.
Exactly.
Get a clear horizon again.
As Kay Hal Kibran says, you don't see the mountain when you're on it. You can see the mountain more clearly from the plane.
Okay, my other question is, can you just touch on specialty trusts?
Yes, so the living trust, the residential trust takes care of many, many of our clients' needs. But there are niche areas of planning which from time to time our clients need also. So one of the niche trusts that we do is a gun trust. So as you and I have discussed before, Ron, there are very specific municipal, state, federal laws about gun ownership, about gun handling, about gun carrying. So we never want to jeopardize the executor or the trustee with having to even just give those guns or weapons to whom we want them to go to. So when it's appropriate, we can create a gun trust. The weapons get transferred to the trust, and the trustee then has authority. Even we can add other trustees, family members who may be able to use that gun during the lifetime if they're a trustee and part of the gun trust, whereas before they wouldn't have been able to just maybe take it to the range. So while it has some lifetime benefits, the main reason we create this is to be able to safely transfer weapons to the executor by the trustee and to whom we want them to go after death. Gun trusts, IRA trusts. So this is another kind of trust. Since 2015, we've been drafting a lot because there was an important Supreme Court case that really restricted the inheritance and the protection of IRAs. So when it's appropriate, either because of the family fragility or the sheer size of that retirement account, we can create its own little trust. We qualify that trust as an individual so that it can stretch generationally that retirement account, as well as protect all the family members who are going to inherit it. It gets a little complex, without a doubt, because of the IRS rules and the generational stretching rules and the income, the deferred income that are part of those plans. But when appropriate, it can save not just tens, but hundreds of thousands of dollars of our clients' retirement money. So they are powerful. Special needs trusts. Of all the trusts that I draft, these are probably my favorite because we can do so much for the family of someone who has special needs, either a mental illness, a physical disability, autism, mood, personality disorders. The spectrum is incredible, Ron. And maybe a little sadly, or else there's just something evolving in our world that we don't understand. But probably 1 in 3 estate plans that I draft calls for some area of special needs trust planning, to the fact now that I will include in every trust that I draft some provision for the trustee to be able to create a special needs trust, just in case someone who's very healthy now should become more vulnerable or should need that planning. And a huge element of our special needs trust planning is the preservation of any kind of federal or state or county or housing benefit that very fragile, sensitive family member may be receiving. Special needs trust. We've talked before about pet trusts. So, you know, there are some very specialty trusts. After doing this for 20 years, I've done them all. I create them all. It doesn't alter the fact that we come down to the fact that most of our clients just need that revocable living trust.
Okay. Of all the areas of law you could practice in, why do you choose estate planning?
Oh, that's a great question. Because I started off my career in litigation when I was in law school. I wanted to try cases.
Yes.
I wanted to, persuade juries. And also I came from a difficult political situation. I grew up in Northern Ireland, so I had this, this sense of protecting the underdog and justice for all. And while I still have a keen sense of justice, And I loved trying cases and got terrific experience. I knew a couple years into that it wasn't for me. The adversarial system didn't sit well with me, because to be very good at trying cases, you really had to be able to take someone's story apart. I build people, I don't, take people down. So when I went into private practice and eventually discovered estate planning, I found my home. I love my clients.
That's where you're comfortable.
I love my seniors.
Yeah.
I love their stories. Some attorneys kind of find it hard to let the guard down. They're behind the marble columns and the cedar paneling and the, the fancy books. And they feel that is how a client will have confidence in them. But me, I am born to let my guard down. I don't have a legal ego. Coming from a poor farm, I couldn't have one if I wanted to. And it has served me so well. Estate planning is sensitive, Ron. We sit with people day after day.
It is.
We listen to their stories.
Right.
We dry their tears.
It's coming from their heart.
Oh, their whole
That's
family.
That's what you're listening to.
Their assets, secrets, things that they're so deeply worried about.
Yeah.
The reasons that have stopped them coming to get their planning done. And we can offer solutions. We can offer solace. We can offer peace. I have done many deathbed wills. Some people do leave it until the end. So what a privilege. For me, what an honor to go in and offer somebody something, some peace, some sense that their family is going to be harmonious when they're gone. I never take that honor for granted. It's something that I love to do. And I read a bar article one time that divided lawyers into warriors and healers. And it was just a light bulb moment. I thought, that's why I didn't belong in the trial system. I'm not a warrior, I'm a healer. And that's why I love estate planning.
And that is going to lead me to tell us about the Curlin Walsh Law Team.
Oh gosh.
How you are doing. And I know you've added staff and changed and did a lot of changes from the first day we started on the air.
Well, we've grown. We've certainly grown.
Yes.
And what I feel that my success, talk about the shoulder of giants, being on the shoulder of giants, my success and the success of my office and the growth of my office in this area is due in large part to our team. So in addition to my heading the team, I have a wonderful attorney, Joelle. She's been with me since she was an intern. She too loves estate planning. She has young boys. Our office is flexible and family friendly, and she too loves our area. She's a brilliant, brilliant draftsperson. Loves to make sure are not just accurate, but our clients, they're drafted in language that our clients understand. She is such an important member of the team. Christine, she's our manager. She runs the office, everybody's schedule, keeps everybody on time, does all our scheduling. She is, and a million other things. So she's the heart of keeping and she does it nice and softly. She just, you know, never any fuss. And she has just this beautiful, warm, compassionate voice for when people call up. We often get that call that either our client has passed away, someone's in the hospital. She can always, you know, kind of calm them down and let them know that whatever needs to be done will be done. So Christine's wonderful. We have, and this has been well, she's probably with us about 4 years now. Mary Rankin is a CPA. So we brought her on board just to do the Curlin Walsh Law. Taxes, you know, manage our wages, our bottom line. But when we realized how terrific she was, we also have her now do all the funding. When we create trusts, a very important part of that creation process is not just the beautiful documents, but those documents have to be lined up with everything you have. We've got to get the home in, but we also have to look at all the assets, how they're titled, what sort of a financial instrument it is, and that helps us determine how we get it reflected in the trust. The trust might own it, the trust might be the primary beneficiary or the contingent or be a payable on death. Mary takes all those assets, keeps a funding log and makes sure all the paperwork gets taken care of, and we never put that file away until we make sure that last asset has not just been lined up with the trust, but the client has gotten verification of that.
Yeah, a complete package.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We have a wonderful marketing guru, Nick, and then we have a wonderful IT genius who keeps us, you know, on the cutting edge of technology and having it all running nice and smoothly. So our success is due in large part to the team we've put together, and everyone is on board with our motto of warmth and competence.
I want to ask you about your team's service to humanity.
Well, Maya Angelou said, when you get, give. And that's something that has always been part of our brand and something that's been important to us too. So just recently we had on the show Almost Home, which is a wonderful organization in the Oak Lawn and surrounding areas to assist those who are on the streets for whatever reason and those struggling financially. We helped them get set up in 2015, and taking no credit for their growth, they have just been incredible. But they have really grown to have a tremendous influence in the community. We take care of their legal needs and we give them what they need. So amongst many,
what a service.
They are supported by many, many companies. So I hesitate to say that we are part of their success. We're just happy to be along for the ride. We also support Katie's Gift. Every year we talk about that in the show.
Yes.
A young girl who has a charity, started when she was 4 in the hospital and saw some children not getting toys. So every year we collect those toys and then we go off and give them to a Ronald McDonald's home or a children's hospital. And we start that from before Thanksgiving, and everybody loves it. They love bringing in the toys. We offer some sort of a benefit to our clients, maybe a free document if they bring in a toy, or if they're currently in and they see all the signs. And they bring us even an Amazon gift card for one of our teenagers. We'll give them a discount, and it just makes everyone feel good. And just recently we have helped set up their 501c3, another dynamic young woman who's going places called Sarah Dania, who's set up an organization called Stuffed Love, and she makes these little flannel, fluffy heart stuffed, and for children recovering from heart surgery. So it's meant to give them love and warmth and comfort, and they also hold it to their hearts if they have to cough or sneeze. And she's already all over the country, getting orders from every state. So we helped her get her legal credentials to become non-exempt, and we're hoping to continue to support not just them but other local charities. And as for Ron, we had said that we will sometimes at Christmas give our clients, our viewers, a little something special if they help us out with Katie's Gift. We had a special gift for Legal Week for our online clients, and we're going to extend it now to the Pales Heights Channel 4 viewers in honor of Legal Week, and that is free powers of attorney for health care, a living will if they want to get their end-of-life instructions in place, and a HIPAA release. These are vital for everyone, be they healthy, be they already sick, be they young, or be they old. So anyone right up until the end of May, and where are we at now? So since this may not air right away, let's extend it to the end of June. Any Channel 4 viewers who do not have their healthcare documents in their place, call you here at Channel 4 or call our office. Our information is on the screen.
Right.
We will extend that to those clients so that they can get those documents in place.
Excellent. I would prefer that the viewers would call you directly.
Beautiful.
Rather than being hung up with Channel 4. But anyway, if we do get the call, we will pass it on to you. They really should call you directly.
Yeah.
And get a chance to talk to your staff as well.
Yes.
You never know where it goes.
Team.
Sometimes they have a question. And
Thank you.
Thank you for sharing that with the viewers. That was very nice of you. And I want to thank you for inviting me to your show.
Yeah. Ron, it was lovely for old time's sake to be able to talk to you again and have our back and forth on these legal documents. Thank you, viewers, for watching. And I will see you next time on Where the Road Rises. Goodbye.